So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The grooviest show on earth. This is Groovy Nights. Right here on KTKB Megamixx 101.9 FM.
Yes, as promised, ladies and gents. Gosh, man, it's good to talk to somebody tonight because, this new segment we're doing is very, very interesting because not only do I love OPM, it's so good to have one of the ambassadors, I think, of OPM into our show here, both on radio, on TV. And if you guys are tuned in via the stream, we do have a very handsome fella. You know, he's one of those guys when automatically you see his face, you already know who he is. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only King of R&B. I still like calling him that. It's the one and only JR. What's up, man?
What's good?
What's good with you, man? And of course, alam ko, it was busy time for you. I heard you came from a press conference just a while back. So is there a concert coming up? What's going on? What's the deal?
Yeah, well, sorry, I'm a little bit late. I came from a press conference. They went overtime. But we're promoting my new show.
Nice.
It's called Soul in Love Live. It's pretty much like it's kind of like a bar tour, and you know everyone's quarantined right now, so we're bringing the show to everybody online now, and that's what's happening. My management Cornerstone is thinking of new ways because you know ABS is kind of like shaky right now. Duterte is kind of shutting it down.
He's shutting things down.
Shutting it down, man. So we have to think of new avenues to get into, and this is one way. So they created a show for me called Soul in Love Live. It's going to be on the Cornerstone Facebook. And every Sunday, 8 p.m., starting this coming Sunday, June 7th.
Hey, you mentioned just a few minutes or just a while ago that everything's kind of changing, right? I mean, new normal, all that stuff. We hear that new normal things. We hear like, everything's starting to go online, as we are doing as well right now. As you know, we can do these interviews because of the power of Zoom, the power of just the internet here. And so you're doing a concert that's interactive. Again, for those of you who don't know, JR, I think, is one of the most innovative artists out there. I'm not saying that because you're a good friend, but because you've really kind of changed things in the musical industry. As you know, you were one of the first to ever put out an MP3. What do you call this? The album where it comes with headsets, right?
Yeah.
It comes with headsets.
Kumusta Ka album with the MP3 player with earphones, and inside the MP3 player, it's the whole album audio, and there's music videos also from the album and pictures and stuff like that. So yeah, with stickers, it comes with it and everything. It comes with this little nice packaging. But the thing is, what sucks is that CDs got obsolete. So all the CD stores where the MP3 player was selling, everything closed down. So now it's like I got all these MP3 players here. I'm still trying to figure out like a distribution way so I can give it out and distribute it to the fans, but I still got it, and I'm still excited about that project.
Wow, yeah. Tons of things in my mind right now in regards to this Facebook or whatever, this new way of you to reach your audience, and maybe in another time I can catch that on in our interview tonight. But how are things, man? How are things with you?
Man, things are great, dude. Of course, there's a bunch of things happening in the world right now, a lot of negative stuff, but aside from the negative stuff here at home, everything is great. You know, I just got married.
I know. March 1st, just a couple, right during this time of this pandemic thing happening. I understand you guys had it planned actually earlier, an earlier date for that wedding, but kind of had to push it out because of all this pandemic thing happening. Yeah,
that's very true. We were actually supposed to fly to Los Angeles and do our little ceremony there also, because all my family.
Your family's there, yeah.
Yeah. And then we were going to do our second ceremony here, which happened already in Boracay, which was great because it was right before the lockdown, so at least we got to do it. There was other people that had to cancel and reschedule their weddings, kind of like Richard Gutierrez and Sarah Labati. They had to just confirm and just like going into a room for their wedding. So we were one of the lucky ones.
That's great. That's great. And you know, best wishes, man. You know, but how is marriage for you now? Like, how is it going compared to? I mean, I know you guys were together already. Is there anything that changed in the structure of your married life?
Well, you're my idol, man. So I had to join the married.
What?
The married. You know what I mean? You're my idol. So
well, you know, then you're gonna start doing dishes, and then you're gonna start doing your typical duties as a husband, being there, shopping, and sitting in one corner, all that stuff. That's all. It's gonna be part of the entire being a husband life. But anyways, now, like this lockdown happening, you as a person, how did you handle this? What were the things that you were doing during your time off? I'm sure your honeymoon is probably 2 months long now, right? 4 months long. You can actually say that you guys have to stay indoors. So for a lot of days, and now we're wondering what are you up to with all those days that you
well, you
were
know,
indoors?
it's crazy because you're right. We have to stay indoors. You know, it's all locked down, quarantine. You can't step outside. It's illegal to step outside. So luckily for me, I have my facility here, the Homeworks facilities. I got my studio.
It's nice.
I have my band studio. And I'm still able to continue to do my craft. You know, I'm still making songs. I'm still recording. We're still shooting music videos. Mica just shot my latest music video, No Pressure. We did it here in that chair right there.
Oh, wow.
I was sitting in the music video. And Mica just has the camera because we have equipment here that we invested in. And she has the camera. She's like my camera woman. We're on the roof and we're shooting. It's crazy. I mean, you know, passion is passion, and we just keep it going. We keep the fire lit. We're always inspired, and especially now, you know, with quarantine and all the things that's happening right now, you know, we get inspired just to let our feelings out, just let our frustrations out. And me just being newly married, you know, I got my wife to inspire me to, you know, to write about love, to write about my experiences. You know, so we just keep it going. You know, Homeworks always represent and trying to make new content, new music.
And like I mentioned a while ago, one of the ambassadors of OPM, if the first person I can think of, especially to launch this new segment we have on TV, is you. I mean, as you know, you were the one who actually put out the OPM only thing. Remember that? And until now, you've been pushing original Pinoy music. I mean, nothing wrong with you know, singing covers, but you've really pushed the envelope when it came to OPM music and how you wanted to make sure that we and you are creating not just OPM, but we're supporting that. The listeners as well, the audience embraces the art of OPM, and that's the reason why we're doing this. We also wanted to kind of during the pandemic, I was kind of thinking, you know, like, man, you know what, I love OPM music. And you think about it, this is one of the things where you can actually say, nah, parang, there's one thing you could call your own, and that's just a beautiful thing, right? To say like, R&B king, Prince, he's been making music such as Bakit Baba, all the way down to we've actually played a lot of your songs right before you got on, and so much great music that you've written yourself, whether it's English, whether it's Tagalog, it's OPM.
Absolutely.
It's OPM.
Absolutely.
And so that's the reason why, you know, I was wondering, like, man, what would JR do now at this exact time as an OPM artist? Would he be writing music about this lockdown? Is he going to write, you know, things like, you know, in pertaining to this actual situation you're on? In the Philippines?
Yes. For sure. We're me, Marcus Davis, Billy Crawford, and Chris Lawrence. We're putting out a song for the Frontliners. It's on my YouTube channel. Actually, we did a little build a beat kind of thing where I started a beat and I passed it over to Marcus. He passed it over to Chris. He passed it over to Billy. Everyone put their own input into it until we completed this beat. And that was the first part of the video. Second part of the video is we're writing a song over it for the Frontliners. And we're inspired because of all this pandemic. You know, all the frontliners are just doing their jobs, staying strong. They're working hard. You know, they're out there just helping us sleep better at night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we wanted to dedicate that to them, and we wanted to keep OPM going. You know, even though there's a pandemic, you can't hold OPM down, and that's the reason why I support and I'm always advocating towards original music, is because, like you said, yeah, it's okay to do covers. There's no problem to do covers. You know, there's a lot of artists that do covers out there and they do it well. The difference between doing covers and doing original music is, with covers, yeah, you can get famous. You can do your little YouTube stuff and you can get famous. But when you start doing original music and you really push that, you can start a career with that. You know, and
very true.
And longevity.
Very true. Yeah, and like I said, this music that you make is so. Because I would just listen to the song "Boo" right before we got on. I was listening to the song "Boo," right, and as the first time I saw the actual video of the song "Boo," and I wanted to talk about this video here, right, because you were in a car, right? You were in a car.
Yeah.
And this is all your original thing. What's this all your original ideas in creating this whole video, from writing the song all the way down to what you visualize in your MTV?
Absolutely.
Really? Okay, so let me just put it out there. I was watching the video. I loved it. By the way, I liked it because it had a different take to the entire situation. I've never ever seen you. We've done Soul Brothers. We partnered in that here in Guam, which was a big success, right? I've never ever seen you mad when you were here, right? You were never ever angry. I don't know. Is it something that is that your attitude? You just don't get mad? But in the video, your car breaks down. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to spoil it, right? Your car breaks down, and you make this rah, and then after that, so your car breaks down, brand new car, by the way. And then all of a sudden you start taking off your clothes. Tell me about that. Tell me about that idea and what went in your mind in making this music video. By the way, check it out. It's on YouTube. It's an awesome video, real good quality. And we're playing that as well on our Megamixx TV channel. If you are on there, you'll see it kind of cycle through our schedule on a daily program. But go ahead.
Yeah. But see, for the Boo music video, I wanted to throw off my audience. I wanted to do something so obnoxious that they'd be like, what? What was this about? You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, exactly what happened to me. I was like, whoa.
But at the same time, there's really a storyline behind it. If you really look closely, at the end, there's like meaning behind like everything that happened. But I wanted to make the audience think, and it's kind of like what they see at first isn't really what's really happening, right? Because of course, like in the Philippines.
Oh, I see.
If the car breaks down, for sure, it's like you're gonna walk. It's so hot. And I figure, since it's hot in the Philippines and it's hot, I'm gonna be walking. You might as well take my shirt off, right? Because I've never done a music video like that before, and I've always wanted to do a music video where I'm showing skin.
Yeah.
And I wanted to throw it in there. So for the Boo music video, I talked to Mica about it. Like, I got this idea. I'm not gonna put you in the. I wrote it about Mica.
Yeah, there was no a female there in the actual video. So I was expecting Mica at the end, to tell you the truth. I was kind of expecting Mica to be like, oh, she's in the car or something. I don't want to spoil it for people, but go check it out. It's a pretty interesting video. It's called Boo on YouTube. And it kind of threw me off a little bit, but I liked it. I really did. It's a different take into making music video. Again, I've never ever seen you mad, ever. Like, I think you're the nicest guy in the world. And then your car breaks down to see that. And you're like, oh, God, let me take off my clothes, man. Just, and you started walking out and came back in. There were some symbols there. There's a crown. Was that crown something that you wanted to, is it the king? Is that the king of R&B kind of thing you're putting out there?
Exactly. That was the first gift that
was an Easter egg. Okay. Oh, is it?
Yeah. And that's one of the clues in the video. Like, if you watch it, in the beginning, we present that to the audience, the crown on my dashboard. So in the end, there's another car that's picking me up, and there's also the same crown on the dashboard. So what's happening is it's kind of like, it's showing the connection of, see, who else would have that same crown, right? It would be my boo. We'd have same matching crowns in our same dashboard. So then that's representing that's boo picking me up already right there. In the
You're right. I see. Okay, I got you. Those Easter eggs, man. I'm gonna have to go right through it again. It's like a movie. It's one of those Avenger movies where you got to figure out, like, ooh, okay, what's coming up next?
Exactly.
So your music that you're making pertains to real life situations for you. And now that you're married, you kind of are you writing it in regards to how you are as a husband and wife now, or is it something you're writing as experience through experience?
For sure. My new music video, my new song that's out right now, No Pressure. It's actually a little story of our backstory of me and Mica. It's because No Pressure is pretty much the title. It's like, I'm not gonna pressure you. That's what I did with Mica. I legoed her for 9 months, and I didn't want to pressure her, but I wanted to make sure that I let her know that I was there for her, and that was kind of like the storyline of the song. So the songs that I write, it's most definitely about my experiences. The next one that I'm releasing soon is also another story about Mica and I, but it's more detailed this time. So it's kind of like a backstory of it, but it shares a lot more stories within it, because there's No Pressure. I was just kind of just touch the surface, kind of leading up to the next song. And this next song that I'll be putting out in the next few months, it's a more detailed story of our experience.
Wow.
Together.
Awesome. And we actually have a question here from the text line. JR, how were you discovered in the first place? Wow. Parang ano how were you discovered? How were you discovered as an artist? That's a good question. Thank you very much. You can text us your questions if you like at 988-1019. Go ahead.
Thanks for the question. Well, I've always been into music. My family is all musicians. So when I was growing up, I had a cappella group called First Impression. And I also sang in a band with my uncle. He was the band leader. He was the guitarist, my Uncle Bob, and my sister Jing. Her and I were the front lead singers of the band. And she's the one who taught me how to sing, actually. And my Uncle Bob, his wife's sister, worked for GMA back in the day. And until now, we're still close, but I used to see her all the time, and she used to tell me ever since I was a teenager, like, you know what, you need to come to the Philippines. I have some connections. I want to introduce you to a network and a record label. But, growing up in Los Angeles, it's like, I don't want to go to the Philippines. I want to make it in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you're already there. So, everybody wanted to go U.S., and why are you leaving, right?
Absolutely, right? But at the time, internet wasn't around, so we used to send in our demos through cassette tape and CDs. And all the record labels loved us. They loved us, me and my group, First Impression. We were making original music already back then. I was 16 years old.
Were you speaking Tagalog already back then?
I was also speaking Tagalog already. But all the labels, we had meetings in every single label in Los Angeles. We stepped into the top floor. We walked in. We even got flown to New York, picked us up in a limo. They flew us to New York just to have a meeting. And every single time we stepped into the label, when they saw us, they're like, oh, you guys are Asian?
Wow.
We thought something else. And right then and there, they're like, it's straight up. It's business, right? So they just tell us straight up, like, you know what? There's no market for Asians. We thought you guys were like black or white or something. There's no market for Asians. We're sorry. And actually, they loved me so much that they wanted to take me from the group and make me solo. They wanted to sign me and but then I was always loyal to my group. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to leave them dry. So I always turned down all the deals. And for 5 years, we were going around to every label and we were always getting rejected. They loved our music, but once they saw us, they rejected us. So finally, after all of that, I was, how old was I? I was 21 already at the time. Okay. After 5 years, I was 21, and then I told my Tita Jeline, okay, Tita Jeline, I've exhausted all my resources here in LA. I want to try to do a meeting in Philippines. So I met with GMA. They loved me. And then I met with Universal Records. They loved me. They gave me a network deal and a record deal right on the spot. So I was like, okay, let's go. I'm moving to the Philippines. And that's how I got discovered. Bakit Pa Ba drop, Designed for Love drop. The Philippines had an open door for an R&B guy to come in. And they just accepted me.
Before you came in, what was their R&B? Let me rephrase the question. Before you ruled the R&B scene, what was R&B then?
Well, Kyla was already an artist. There was a South Border that was up in here doing their R&B thing, and I think that's about it. You know, I'm not sure who else was. I mean, Jaya was out here doing her R&B thing. The only thing is that no one brought my kind of sound, you know, like I had a different kind of sound. If you listen to my Game Face album, we were ahead of our time. Like if you listen to this Game Face album, we did this almost 20 years ago.
Listen to it now. Yes. I totally agree with you because that's what I did before the interview. I went through your albums to kind of dig through and I said, man, this Game Face album and the songs inside, if you were to just say, I'm going to remaster, re-release it, boom, it would be exactly the same as what R&B is today.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if you listen to my Game Face album, you listen to my JR album, it's like what R&B is now. You know, R&B is so hyped now. R&B is like, it's like pop now. It's like in the forefront of music. So if you put it together, those old albums and listen to music now, it's kind of like the same. We were totally ahead of our time. So I was bringing that to the table, to the Philippines, and that's why I think they gravitated so much towards my music.
And when you went to the Philippines, was it a culture shock for you? I mean, of course, you're from the States. Was it different for you? Was it difficult for you to kind of? I mean, I'm living in the Philippines now. After living in the City of Angels, I'm living, you know, in the Philippines. Totally different culture. How was that for you?
I think the only culture shock for me was being in the heat all the time, the traffic. But aside from that, okay lang naman because I'm pretty much fluent in Tagalog with an English accent on it. May tuwan. Pero nakasalita naman ako, nakakaintindi. Kumakain ako ng dinuguan, ng mga kare-kare, lahat, you know? So it's like, I was culturized already. My parents made sure that I didn't lose touch with the Filipino roots. So when I got here, it was all good, you know? And I loved it. I mean, until now, I'm still loving it. I love the Philippines, and it's my second home now.
Back then, we didn't have social media. We didn't have, when you arrived, you didn't have social media. You didn't have the internet. Not saying you're old, but we didn't have that, right? We have newspapers, TVs. We don't radios. There weren't internet as it is now. Nowadays, we have this opportunity for getting for just being able to listen to and see some people kind of prevail. Morissette, for example, she's got really popular because of the internet. Would you think, given that moment, let's say you were to come in now, at this time, JR, flashback all the way from Los Angeles, coming in now, would you be able to still do what you do, or even better?
I think with given the same opportunity, I think it would be better actually, because you're right. There's more ways to reach the fans. There's more viable ways to communicate with the fans and actually interact with them this time. See, back in the day, you're right. It was only radio, magazines, TV. So I feel like if I would have came in now, I would have, I think it would have been more of an impact to the Philippines, especially, you know, that's a good question. That's a very good question, because if I didn't come in then, you know, what would the R&B sound be now in 2020?
True.
You know, who would have been the pillars and stuff like that?
And who would you be looking up to, right?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So it would have been different. But, I mean, of course, I have confidence in myself, and that's the reason why I have this certain amount of success, because, you know, anyone that's successful has to have this amount of confidence, and most definitely I have this confidence. And because of that, I can say, yes, I will make it, and I will make an impact still.
Awesome.
Sure.
Awesome. That's awesome. There's another question here. I'm going to kind of rephrase it, but I think what you're trying to say is, what does it take to create an OPM hit? I am a upcoming. I want to be one. I want to be a good singer. I want to make it big, but it's hard. How can you make a song just hit? I think they're pertaining to Bakit Pa Ba. Bakit Pa Ba basically is the karaoke most played song, I think, for a lot of us, right? And when you say Bakit Pa Ba, you already know it's JR. Until this day, we get requests for that song. Just last night, actually, we got a request for that. So, what does it take to create an OPM hit as JR right now?
Okay, well, let's just speak in generalizations. To create an OPM hit, okay? First of all, the biggest part of the formula is a great song, a great singer. That's the number one part of the formula. Now, there's so many parts to the formula. It's not just the song, it's not just the singer. Because you also need an image attached to that song. You have to have great pictures. Your aesthetic has to look nice when it comes to the song that's attached to it. Now, when you have this great aesthetic, great photos with the song, what comes next? You have to take that great aesthetic and put it into a video. So you can put it out to your fans with the great song and with the great singer. Now, after that part of the formula, now that you have the video and now that you have the song with the aesthetic, now you need to get it out to your audience, right? So then there's the promotion side of it now. There's the grind part of it. There's the networking part of it. There's the promotional part of it. There's the paying for promotion part of it. There's so many things behind it. So like right now, it's so great. Like the artists are so spoiled because everything's at our fingertips. You can go on YouTube, you can check out how to record. You can check out how to take pictures. You can check out how to Photoshop. You can check out how to edit a music video. You can check out how to place Google ads, how to place Facebook ads. You can check out how to market. And you can just learn it all on YouTube now. So it's much easier. And I don't want to hear any artist nowadays say it's hard, because it's not. There's so many more avenues now. There's Instagram, there's YouTube, there's Twitter, there's TikTok, there's Kumu, there's online, it's easier to get to the radio stations now. So I don't want to ever hear any artist say that it's hard. I mean, I'm just speaking from experience because, like you said, we didn't have all of this back in the day.
You went from the ground up. You literally got rejected before you had to get through the through the door. Basically, based on your story, those rejections, they must have hurt. At the same time, you had to leave your group. You didn't want that either. So you had to go from the bottom of the floor all the way up. And you look at it now, right? You look at the situation now for especially our young and upcoming artists who are actually being discovered through social media. A lot of them who are signing contracts are either winning contests on TV, like those contests, are getting these big contracts, or somebody that just was discovered singing in the bathroom or in karaoke machine in one of the SMs there, and all of a sudden they become big artists, right? But I think also at the same time, with OPM, you've got to have structure. You've got to have structure in your songs and your music. And I think that's exactly what you have that other people don't have, is being able to build that structure, being able to build it from the ground up, because you know the struggle.
That's another part of the formula that I forgot to mention. It's your mentality. Your mentality. If all you're after is just fame and fortune, it's going to be hard to get there because you're not looking at the bigger picture. When I moved to the Philippines, it wasn't just trying to get famous what I was trying to do. I wanted to change the face of music in the Philippines. I wanted to start my own label and help other artists get to where I was going. And I wanted to bring them along with me, So it's definitely about mentality and where your head's at when it comes to this music game. And not just the music game. I mean, in anything that you do. I mean, being a DJ at a radio station isn't easy, but you have to have the right mentality. You have to have the right mindset to be able to do it. You got to be personable. You got to make sure to to network, you got to make sure to do your research on how to speak and do, in any kind of work that you do, you need all these traits, part of the formula.
True. Awesome. Hey, man, hands down to what you've done and what you've been through, and here you are now. Is there besides your upcoming concerts, anything we can expect during these different times for JR? Is there anything else? Are you traveling anywhere anytime soon? If it opens up, you plan on going anywhere?
Well, yeah, most definitely. When it opens up, I'm going to go back to LA. I want to visit my dad. My dad is getting pretty old now. He's 89 years old. And, I just want to make sure that I spend a lot more time with him because his days are pretty numbered already. So I definitely want to make it out to LA. But aside from that, I want to make it somewhere exotic with my wifey.
Nice.
Do a little honey away.
Maybe Guam?
You know what I mean?
Maybe Guam?
Hey,
maybe Guam, right? Maybe Guam. And we've been with like zero, very few cases. We hope it continues on for us here, and we pray also the Philippines, our homeland, gets better and better as the days go by. This COVID thing really kind of shook the world, both your industry, my industry, and just the entire earth. And I do want to go back to the Philippines. Actually, I was scheduled to go back to the Philippines right before they locked down the Philippines. So I'm kind of glad I didn't. But I would have been stuck there.
Yeah.
I would have been stuck there. Well, anyway, thank you so much, Jared, for your time. Before we do go, I know this is something like, I just want to say hi to some people right now who are asking for requests for you to sing. I'm not going to let you sing because, first of all, the audio isn't going to be as perfect as we wanted it to be because we are basically through the internet. But I'm going to ask you to do a sample for some of our people who are just asking. Actually, somebody here says, "Good PM, pwede mo request live ng Bakit Pa." This song is really attached to you no matter what, right? Wherever you go. Do you ever get that? You go like, "Uy, pakanta naman ng Bakit Pa."
All the time.
All the time. It's happening. You're okay with that though, right? You're not like one of those artists like, I ain't gonna sing that ever. There are artists, and I've dealt with some. Seriously, as a producer, I've dealt with some that said, I ain't singing that song. I mean, I really understand. At the same time, if they're getting tired of it, they don't want to sing it. You're sick and tired of it. But for you, you take it as, you know what? Bring it on. You don't care.
It's a blessing, bro. It's a blessing. I can't believe artists would actually even talk about that. That's so dumb. I mean, that's what shot them up to stardom, and it's like they don't appreciate it. That's so stupid.
Oh, believe me, it exists. And I've dealt with a couple of artists. I won't mention who came here. No, man. I ain't gonna mention anything because I'm gonna have them on the show too. Who will not sing their favorite song.
Just whisper it. We won't tell anybody.
Actually, I'll tell you that on WhatsApp or something. But anyways, JR, thank you very much for coming over to our little new program. It's called OPM Connoisseurs, where we kind of talk about OPM. We want this to be the new normal, and that's my goal as well for the radio side of things. For the OPM sound to be, as we call everybody's doing this thing, the new normal. At least for my radio program. And one of the reasons for which I want to do this is when I was in lockdown, besides me video gaming, I actually on my Spotify had playlists of just pure OPM stuff. And from Apo hiking all the way down to the newest songs right now. When I was listening to the lyrics, you never listen to it. You usually just listen to the great sound, the great, Marcus Davis. Sometimes this guy can produce great beats. You can produce great beats, and you see those beats, you hear those. You don't really hear the lyrics. But man, these lyrics are pretty deep if you really go down. Speaking of that song, the Boo song, right? I mean, that's pretty deep stuff. That's pretty deep. So,
that's like society songs, man. They go really deep.
Yeah. So, I know Mica, maybe we'll have her also on one of our programs if we can schedule her because she has some new music as well, and I'm excited for that. Not only is she one of the, she's now an artist. Oh my goodness, man, she's on TV.
She has a movie with Steven Seagal on Netflix.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Bro, on Netflix. Steven Seagal.
Is that out?
Is that out?
Steven Seagal. Yeah, Steven Seagal. Yeah. 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 Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal. It's out. I also produced the theme song for it, and Mica.
Oh, I gotta hear it. I gotta see it. So maybe one of these days we'll have her on the program. But right now, before we go, because we're kind of running out of time here, 8 o'clock is our basically our time limit. One sample of that song for that for the people who are listening right now, and a lot of people are saying hi, Brud JR, our DLX family here in Guam, all on the stream. Yes, so they're all kind of tuned in right here, and shout outs to all those on the Facebook Live. But go ahead, man, give us a quick sample of that song just to fill the needs of some of our viewers and listeners here.
Of course, bro. All right, check it out, everybody. This is for everybody requesting for Bakit Pa Ba. Hope you like it. It goes like this. Papaalam ka dahil nasaktan kita, nooy di makitang mali ako. Ngayon'y alam ko na sa'yo'y nagkasala. Sana muli ako'y mapatawad pa. Araw-araw kang lumuluha, sa akin ay nagmamakaawa. Nooy di narinig pagsama mo. Oh, bakit pa ba nagawa? Nasaktan ko ang isang tulad mo na labis na nagmamahal. Hindi napansin na wala ang katulad ang alay ng pag-ibig mo sa akin. Ako sana muli ay patawarin.
Right, awesome. Thank you very much, the King of R&B, and we hope to hear from you soon. Real quick before we go, if there was a second King of R&B, who would that be?
Chris Lawrence.
Chris Lawrence. There you go. Great. always supporting the Bruds. All right. Thank you very much again. We'll hear from you in the future, and hope, I pray and hope that your OPM and your career continues to go up this way, up to the sky.
Thank you so much. DJCURE in the house.
Thank you very much, JR. And we also love seeing you smile like that. It's the JR smile to lift everybody's spirits. So thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you. Everybody follow me on Spotify. We'll see you there. Thank you so much.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The one and the only King of R&B. We are going to take you to the top of the hour right now. It's 8:02. Don't go anywhere. More groovy nights coming your way. The All Request Hour.
Ang himpilang pinakikinggan nino man saan man. Ito ang aktual na pinakikinggan.
Number 1.
Sa sasakyan.
Number 1.
Opisina.